for an hour at 11 a.m. so that you can have all the information you need to take your business to the next level week by week, and also to grow your business week by week. So we're going to jump right in because we got a lot of information to cover today. And as you know, guys, we always start with recognition, because, we always have someone new coming in and killing it, or hitting a milestone, or even people who have been here that are also hitting milestones. So we're going to start out with some recognition. And the first person and only person I want to highlight that passed her exam on Ebony's team is Tasha Chavez. So congratulations, Tasha Chavez. If you're on the call, if you could take just 1 minute and kind of talk about what you're excited about and also passing that exam, what that was like for you. So do we have Tasha Chavez on? Going once, going twice. Congratulations, Tasha. We're going to move right along. I do want to highlight, guys, the top 5 submitted business for the week. These guys, I mean, they come from all different backgrounds, all different situations, some married, some not, some with kids, single moms, some not. What that just means, guys, is that everyone on this call, no matter what your situation looks like, somebody is always either in something, like going through something, just coming out of something, or just currently going in something. And so these top 5 just let you guys know that anybody can do this business if you decide to make a decision to do it. So the first person I want to highlight is Ryan Urbanski, number 1 for the top 5 submitted business for the week with $14,236. Then next up, we have Kelly G, $10,261. And then we have Mike Coombs. Congratulations.
Okay. Karyn, we can't hear you. What happened to the Karyn? Karyn. I bet you Karyn is steady talking. Karyn?
I was. How did I get muted?
I think I muted you by mistake. Sorry about that.
Oh. Where did
Okay.
what did you hear? Where did I leave off?
Ryan Urbanski.
Okay, let's go back. Okay, so Ryan Urbanski, top 5 submitted business for the week, guys. Super excited about Ryan, $14,236. Next up, we have Kelly G, $10,261. Excited about this guy. Mike Coombs stepped up, $9,469. Excited. We have the luxury of hearing from Brandee today. So Brandee, $9,396. And then Rich, who's always in the top, submitted $8,800. So great job, leaders. Like I said, all these guys in the top 5, they're no different from you and I. Everybody's going through something, either coming out, going in, or already in something, but these guys do not make any excuses and get it done anyway. So that is our recognition. The next person I want to bring up that's going to talk for about 5 minutes is our own business partner, Brandee. I'll let her tell her story. I won't ruin it for you. But Brandee is going to talk about her mindset, and how it has changed. And Brandee, congratulations on killing it and also being in the top 5 submitted business for the week. If we have Brandee on, go ahead and take it away, Brandee. Talk about your mindset and how it changed.
Hey there. Thank you guys so much for asking me to be on the call. It's such an honor. I really appreciate it. It's really nice to be recognized for your hard work. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you a little bit about my background. I am a dance teacher for the last 20 years. I'm also a DJ. And when COVID hit, obviously all parties came to a screeching halt. I originally got my license back in 2012, but as most of us were, I was with a crappy company, just to put it bluntly. And I jumped out of insurance. I was like, there's no way I'm going to ever make money in this business. It's a racket. So anyway, fast forward to now, I had to get back. I had to find something else after COVID hit. So Ryan Urbanski is actually my neighbor. So he was doing super well. And I was like, you know what? And I already knew Mike and Frank and Jamie. So I was like, I'm going back in. Let's give it a shot. And since then, I mean, I knew about Family First Life, but now I really know about Family First Life. And this is the most incredible company I think that's ever been put on the planet of Earth. I'm a true believer. And just kind of what's happened in the last couple of weeks for me is number one, convention. Like going to convention is everything. I think when you get there and number one, you see all the success, you hear from all the leaders, how they're doing it, the education, your belief level goes up like skyrockets. And then when you're on the phone and you're getting backlash and you're in an appointment, you're getting backlash, whatever's happening to you, it doesn't matter because your belief level is so high that you can just fight through anything. It doesn't really matter at that point. In addition, the education that we got at convention was incredible. I mean, it was 3 days straight of just nonstop people pouring into you. I learned so much there. But then also for me, like I always love to be like a part of something bigger than myself. I love teamwork. I don't know, I'm very competitive and all that. So anyway, just being there with the team and getting closer with everybody, with Karyn, Kali, Austin, having my new people come in, I don't know. It's like now when you're a part of something, it's so much bigger than yourself. In addition, like helping my upline really, I want Mike to sell to integrity really bad, like, cause he's helped me so much. So, and I want to do my best so that I can get him up to where he needs to be. And then for Ryan, and then I hope that one day that my team will do the same for me. It's just a matter of everybody helping each other. So my mindset is it's like, I have to work hard. I have to work hard for the team so that we can all get somewhere, because we're only as strong as our weakest link, right? So if I'm not putting my part in, then we're not going to go very far. And about team, I actually have a lot of new team members who just got started. So I have to be a leader for them. I have to make sure that I'm showing up every single day and putting my all in, because they're dependent on me to do that. They need to see me out there selling and calling and doing everything that I have to do for them, And so I've always, I know I'm a mom also. I forgot to say that at the beginning. So for me, it's about doing this. It's not about me anymore. It's about doing everything that I can for my daughter, doing it for my team, doing it for my upline. So I'm a very giving person. So I know every day when I wake up that I have to get to work for everybody else. So that's how I feel. So I guess that's the mindset that I have. And number 3, my schedule. So between DJing and dancing, I teach 2 nights a week, and then being a mom, like I've had a really hard time getting like my groove, like my rhythm, to my schedule. And so I was not running on Mondays and Wednesdays because I felt like, well, I have to teach at 4:30. There's no way that I'll be able to get appointments in. Well, that's not true. I've actually been making a ton of money on Wednesdays. So I started, I changed my schedule. So I dial on Tuesdays. Now I'm actually running on Wednesdays where I wasn't before. And I think that's huge for me. So just this understanding that even though I don't have a full day to run appointments, just a couple appointments in that morning, 5-6 appointments will change everything for me. That's number 4, leads. I started, so everyone says buy leads. And that's true. Like you've got to buy a ton of leads, but I've been just buying them in smaller increments of $500 at a time. So I'm still buying between $1,000 and $1,500 a week. That hasn't changed, but I feel like when I have more money in the bank, my posture is different at the table. My posture is different at the phone. So if I'm not spending all my money on leads and I'm not freaking out, oh my God, I need to get my money back, then I just have a different mindset all around. So spending $500, I know that I might have to buy more, and that's okay. But just starting with the $500, and then on Tuesday, $500 on Thursday, you know what I mean? And then smaller increments. And that way I'm able to build, my money just building, y'all. I don't tell you. It's just getting up there. So we're good. And then the last thing, everybody's really, all the leaders say hire employees, how to hire recruiters, all this stuff. I have not done that yet. We're not there yet, but it's coming soon. But my very first employee that I hired was actually software, and it's called Phone Burner. And I have to be honest, when you can do it as soon as you can, because it's changed everything for me. It allows my hands to be free while I'm dialing, so I can work on my back office stuff. I can recruit at the same time while I'm on the phone. it allows me to make like a ton of calls in one day. So I know for a fact that I'm at least selling one more policy a month due to phone burner. Definitely. So those are the things that I've changed, and it's helping, and I hope it keeps going. So if you guys have any questions, anybody's feel free to hit me up. I'll be happy to help you.
Brandee, so I hope everybody on the call caught what you were like, some of the key things that you were saying. I think one of the things that I heard was that you just got more focus. Is that true?
Yeah, it's like slowly but surely just figuring everything out. It's like my groove, figuring out my rhythm, figuring out, it's such a different lifestyle change for me. I'm an artist, I'm a dancer, I'm a DJ. I don't see myself as an insurance agent. So it's a lot of changing and and focus and just figuring it out.
And then also like sticking to it, because you're not new here, right? You've been around for a while.
Right, since July, yeah.
Okay, so about 6 months, 7 months. So, but you just kept going. Has everything been easy for you?
No, no.
This is for people that are new, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times what happens is that someone new sees somebody being successful and they think that they've just been successful from the jump. And we all have bad weeks, bad days, and you just got to keep going through it, keep pushing through it to get to the point where you do see the success. Because I think most people, when they start, they want to come in and just instantly be successful, and that unfortunately that's not the case most of the time. Most people start off kind of slow, don't have no money to buy leads, trying, making a lot of mistakes, and eventually it gets to the point where if you just keep doing it over and over again, your results will start to change, and you'll start to be more like what I heard you say. You've been just basic. You're not just kind of throwing stuff up against the wall. You're being very mindful. That's not the right word I'm looking for, but you're very you know exactly what you're looking for, the results that you're looking for, and so you're putting into the exact work that you need to put in to get the results. And then also, like you said, changing your mindset from, okay, there's no way that I can run appointments, but then you're like, why can't I run appointments on Wednesday? Because I don't have dance until 4:30 in the afternoon. I can do it in the morning. You know what I mean? So all those little things make a big difference. But I think the biggest thing that I heard you say was the fact that you just stuck around and kept trying and kept making mistakes, and now you're starting to see the fruit of your labor. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely been like a roller coaster. I would say like in October, I did great, and I was part-time, I did great. And then November, December kind of went down, but now I'm going back up. And a lot of it is like you're saying, it's what I'm doing on a daily basis. It's just being repetitive and just finding my groove, and then sticking to it and just working my butt off.
Good stuff, Brandee. Thank you. We're so super proud of you, Brandee. Glad to be in business with you. Glad we're all on the same team. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Brandee. All right, Karyn, you want to talk real quickly about staying plugged in? So just going off of what Brandee just said, talk about being plugged in, Karyn.
Absolutely. So, guys, being plugged in, I can't express how important it is. It is beyond important in your business. I believe it's one of the recipes to success. And when I say plugging in is also, it's also like showing up, but you're showing up in different forms. So when I hear Brandee talk about her success, something happened when she was plugged in to the convention that caused her to expand her mind to say, hey, I can run on Wednesday before my 4:30, whatever I have to do at 4:30. But I can definitely tell you that if she wasn't at that convention, she may have still been running her own system or been confused about what her day should look like on a day-to-day basis. So being plugged in is super important because you're hearing what other people are doing in their system, in their business, and their lifestyle with their family, and how they're having success here so that you too can have success. And understand this too, that the insurance business is constantly changing, especially during COVID. So I know a lot of us leaders, we get calls from people who, we haven't talked to in 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, 2 months. And it's like, hey, I'm ready to run. Which product should I use? And I'm like, wait a minute, where were you 6 months ago? And if you were here and plugged in, you would know. So, and that puts a cramp on our business because we shouldn't have to stop what we're doing in our schedule to bring you up to par to what you decided to miss. And so it's a respect thing. So guys, even if you have another career, have another business, but this is something that you want to do, constantly stay plugged in because the products change, the business change. We make small adjustments here and there. And so just out of respect of leadership and also your team, stay plugged in so you can be in the know. So when you do decide to wake up and start doing certain things here to have success, or when you do decide to start running your business, that you are not so far out the loop that you have to go back to ground zero and start all over again. And again, this is for you to have success. Being plugged in also is not just about you, it's about your team as well. So if you're here and you're deciding to build an agency, one of the things that your people look for are you showing up? And that's whether it be in the office or if it's on a conference call like this that we do every Saturday. They want to know because your team does half of what you do. So if you don't even plug in to show up to a conference call, they're going to feel as though that they're not going to get on. They don't have to get on. And most likely, if you're not working, they're not working. If you're putting half efforts in, they're not working. But if you have a strict schedule, whether you're part-time or full-time, and you're in this thing, then your team looking at you will want to follow you. But just like Steve said last week, you got to ask yourself, with what you're doing in your business right now, would you follow you? Would you want to be you? Are you making the money that you want to make? Are you attractive in business? These are questions that you have to ask yourself looking in the mirror, and you may have to make some changes like Brandee said. You may have to adjust your schedule. You may have to make some sacrifices. You may have to make some changes, but one thing I will tell you is that based on hearing Brandee, she is going somewhere and she has goals and she has things that she wants to do, and she's more likely to hit it than someone who's not plugged in. So, and I always look at being plugged in almost like an outlet and your charger. We use our phones on a day-to-day basis, and that's what we need to stay. One of the main things we need to stay in business. If your phone is not charged for the day, you're not prepared. You can't talk to clients. Your phone is dead. You can't work. There's nobody to talk to. But that goes for the same with you and your business. If you're not plugged in, you're not turned on. So guys, that's why it's important to stay plugged in. I encourage you. And guys, this is only for an hour. If you think about the things that most of us do on a day-to-day basis that don't pay you, this conference call will, because you'll know what you need to do to run it up for the week and every week thereafter. You'll be up to date on all the different things that we have going on, all the new things that they're coming up with to make our job as an insurance broker, easier for us to maneuver and to be able to help clients and run and expand our team, and what to say to our team when things get difficult. Or if you're having challenges in business, you don't feel like you're the only one going through it, that everybody goes through things in this business. Is how you respond to what's going on. Are you going to wake up and push through it and get it done? Or are you going to sit in your mess, complain about it, and not make any money? But the beauty about Family First Life is that you could still be learning. Like Brandee said, you could still be learning. You could be here part-time or full-time. You could still make bare minimum 10 grand a month with making all the mistakes in the business, but being plugged in. But making mistakes in the business, still learning this thing, still figuring this thing out. But if you're not working, and what is work? Because most people don't know what that is. I know Andre talks about that all the time. It's kneecap to kneecap. You sitting in front of somebody else to offer them insurance, and then the phone got to be in your hand. You got to be smiling and dialing. Attitude and activity is all you can control, but you can't have any attitude. You can't have the proper attitude and activity if you're not plugged in to know what that's supposed to look like, feel like, and be like. So guys, I encourage you that look at your schedule. Ask yourself, what do I want out of Family First Life? Am I going to be part-time or full-time? What's my schedule book going to look like? And what days am I going to run? And the days that I'm running, am I booking 8 to 10 appointments like Kali and Brandee and a lot of leaders on here say to do week to week, so that I can have success? So really have a chin check with yourself, because we want you guys to win. We want you to win so bad that, you know, Kali and a lot of the other leaders came up with the idea to plug in and get you guys into a call for an hour once a week that we don't have to do, so that you could learn and change your family's financial future. So guys, I encourage you to stay plugged in. That's the reason why you should stay plugged in. And again, we do this week to week, and really, really have a chin check with yourself, because I've had chin checks with myself all the time. All the time. There's no way 6 years ago, 7 years ago, that I would be making the money today by being the same person. And through that came along challenges, hurdles, changes, sacrifice. But those are all the recipes for success, because it's not supposed to be comfortable. It can be comfortable in the end. But until then, you got to put the work in, and you got to put the work in the business, and you have to put the work in on yourself. So I love you guys. We're going to hand it over to the next speaker, which is Lakenya. You want to bring her on?
No, Lakenya, go ahead. I thought it was. I got all excited about the guest. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No,
We have another guest speaker who I'm excited to bring on this call to take about 10 minutes. Lakenya and her husband have just been killing it, but we're going to have Lakenya talk, not to shun out her amazing husband, who's been behind the scene and on the scene, just helping her. And they've been working they have such a great partnership. I'm super excited to bring her on. Lakenya, she's going to talk about the importance of a schedule and having a big vision. So Lakenya, we're proud of you and your husband and your team. She's all the way in Arkansas, never had a lick of training, being on appointment with any of us, but has been killing it. So Lakenya, take it away. 10 minutes, girlfriend.
All right. Thank you so much for, hold on one second. I can't, you gotta have to cut yours off. I can't hear myself. Sorry, my husband listening in on his phone. All right. So thank you guys so much for letting me speak on the call today. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the importance of having a schedule. So, you know, we are self-employed. So what that could mean to a lot of us is that we can pretty much work anytime we want to, which is really, really hard to manage sometimes. So you might get burnt out and those kind of things. Because like before I came into this business with Family First Life, I was with another company, and we really didn't have a schedule. Like we were just working whenever we wanted to. And when that happens, you have your friends and family and stuff, they might call you like, hey, can you come do this? And because you're self-employed, you're your own boss, you might think like, yeah, I can go do that. But really, my husband just telling me yesterday, you know, if you don't have your schedule and you're not working, you basically unemployed. So don't trick yourself and fool yourself in thinking because I'm self-employed, that's gonna be like this big thing, because it is big. But don't trick yourself and thinking like I'm self-employed, but and not go to work, or that you can work anytime, which you can, but you have to have a schedule, because if you don't, basically you are unemployed. So be mindful and keep track of that. What my schedule looks like is, and me and my husband, we've been kind of tweaking this and going back and forth on like how we can make make the most of what we do, because I think it's important in order to be successful in the business is to know what your strengths are and use those strengths to the fullest, and then delegate the rest. So like my husband, like what these last couple of weeks since convention, we just kind of been going back and forth, and so sometimes we would like have him call all my appointments and I just go run, because I'm the stronger closer. And then sometimes I set his appointments and he go run on the weekends. But not to mention, you guys, I don't know, some of you guys know my story, but me and my husband, we have 8 kids between the two of us, and we have 5 that live with us here. We have 5 that live in the house with us. So we're doing this business together, around 5 kids. And like when we first started, I had a job and I started in November, and it's so crazy. They fired me. So I didn't get, like, I literally started in November. I got fired from my job, and that what catapulted me to being doing this. So what my schedule looks like now, that we're just kind of going back and forth on what we're gonna be doing. But what my schedule looks like now is on Mondays, it's my call day. And I usually, I've been trying to start at 8, but no later than 9 o'clock, because I like to sleep in sometimes. no later than 9 o'clock, I'm always starting to make my phone calls, and I work all the way until like 12. Because Brandon, she talked about the phone burner. I do have phone burner, so that's absolutely been a game changer for me, being able to make more phone calls so I can finish at 12. And I do set 8 to 10 appointments for my run days. More so try to do 10 because 8 is like mediocre or like you're not that serious. So you need to do 10 at least. So I try to do 10. That's what my goal is. But I always be graceful to myself and just if I do 8 or less than 8, I always say, good job. I did this. I'm giving myself praise, but I just know I need to do better because that wasn't like the best that I could do. But some of you guys don't know, like before I came over here, I used to tell myself all the time I can't be consistent. I'm like, the only thing I can be consistent with is being inconsistent because I never could be consistent before coming over here. And I was with another insurance company, couldn't be consistent. The longest that I did my business was like 3 months in a row, and then something happened, life had happened, and it just took me out of the business. And then I had to start all over, get momentum going again. But over here, for some reason, like I really have been consistent, and I think what the keys has been is the schedule. So again, Mondays is my call days, and what I found is to be important is to get on the live dials because you can, call have yourself being call day by yourself at your house or whatever, but you need to get on the live dial. So especially if you have another job or you coming from having a job, you have to take the job mindset into business mindset and kind of like trick yourself. So basically, what I do is I clock in on live dials and I make my dials for everybody else on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. And then on Thursdays or Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays is my run days. Again, 8 to 10 appointments. I start at 9 o'clock on my run days and I don't get done until 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And then some people, of course, they no show you or whatever. And at that time, I'm what I do is I already be prepared. I go door knock someone. I already have like a list of people I want to go to door knock. I go see if they can sit with me. And then the other times I'll try to make a phone call or something to schedule another appointment. But and I also do have my own private practice for therapy, so I do that on Mondays in the evening time. But it's still important to like have a schedule because with self-employed we have so many hats. So we are the recruiter, we are the admin person, and all these different things. So on Mondays, I you have to set a schedule even for your social media. So I have my schedule for like my call days and my run days, but I have to have time, even if it's just an hour, to promote the business online and to get recruits and stuff like that. Which brings me to why it's important to have a big vision because me and my husband we want to have make over $1 million this year, and it's important to have a huge vision and not just a small one. And you have to really get your business from your heart, your vision from your heart, not just your head. You have to be able to help people to 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 kind of like believe in the vision because your vision can be so big that it inspire other people to come on and do what they need to do to help their family. Now, like for me right now, I know I can do it. I've been doing it. I did it pretty much since December is when I first got my first check. And I've been doing it since December, and this is going to be March, and I'm just so proud of myself because I've been consistent doing it, which I never, literally never been consistent in any business. And like I said, I always tell myself I'm consistently inconsistent, but I've been doing it, so I'm great on it. But my goal and my husband's goal is to actually motivate and help other people to do it, empower them. And we can't be having no big old team if our goal is like $10,000 a month. Where does your team fall into that, if that makes sense? You gotta have it like so big that it's big enough to fit your team in there and their goals as well. So that's what we kind of do with our vision and what we want for our vision. Let's see, make sure I didn't leave off anything. So me and my husband have at the convention we made a decision and we had like put a game plan in order for us to make $1 million if we don't have no team. We made $1 million. We're gonna make $1 million with just me and him. But of course we're gonna have a team and we making a plan to be able to have our vision bigger so our team can come in to fit all of that. So coming out of the convention, we decided to keep my office from counseling because I was about to like let the office go. So we decided to repurpose that into insurance. And then just this last week, we talked together and we got us a second office. We hired an admin, and we just started this business. And I think the biggest thing is to have faith in it. And like I said, I literally coming in with not a history of being inconsistent, but having the faith and the desire to help someone, because I always think like this, like you never know who's watching you and who you can inspire. Because like one day, like people that you don't even know are looking at you, and like they learning from you, and like you might inspire them to do something big and change their family, and those kind of things. So that's what we do. So we got an admin, we got two offices. We just signed up for work spots to have our offices here to be a part of work spots. And that's pretty much what we have been doing. And like so we've been doing this between all five of the kids. We decided to put our 2-year-old in daycare because we was making excuse, well, we can't do nothing because she in daycare. She's not in daycare, so somebody gotta be at home with her. So nope, we paid the money. We paid $130 a week for her to go to daycare. We put her in daycare. Now my husband, he gets up and goes to the office every day to make sure he can get his mindset. And if you do have an office or one closest to you, I would suggest going to that office instead of doing it from home because our business have exploded or gotten bigger by just going to the office, and making sure. The other thing, the last thing I'm gonna add, because I don't know how long I've been talking, but is to keep a tally of what you're doing and keeping track of it. So like what I mean by that is like on my down days, I use a dial tracker and I watched a video where like I don't know if you guys seen the dial trackers, but they have like 10 and then it has like 10 little lines and then it's like 20, 10 little lines again. So when I'm making my dial tracker, of course I'm putting my X's and checks or whatever, but in the margin, I'm also putting the time that I'm starting on that line. And that'll help, like if you can track what you're doing in your business, it'll help you not feel burnt out or anything like that, or help you see if you actually been working. Because some people they be like, oh, I've been dialing all day, people ain't answering the phone or whatever. But if they don't put their times on their time tracker or their dial tracker, they might in their head freak them out, like, man, this ain't working. But what I do is on every line before I go to the next line, I write the time that I started that line. And then I keep doing that. And that way when it's time for me to re-look and see if I actually working, I can see if I've been dialing all day or actually really, really dialing all day, if that makes sense. I can see like if my first line to do 10 calls took me like 10 minutes to do that, then the second line it took me an hour to do 10 calls. Obviously, they let me know I was doing something in between that time and not actually dialing. So I always make sure I write the times down so I can come back. I can't say myself that I've been dialing all day, it's not working, but I can look at it and be like, okay, really, was I really dialing all day or was I doing something else while I was dialing? If that makes sense. And then also to my husband and me, we getting better at tracking like what you do in your appointments and how you set the appointments and if the person meet and the sales and stuff like that. Keep track of that because one, it's important to do that. Two, when you have new people coming in, they be like, oh, how many dials you make to be able to do what you do, how many people you see to be able to do what you do. So you need to be able to show them like, yeah, I had this many downs, this many appointments, and I was able to achieve this. Not saying that you're gonna have to have the same amount. You might have to have more, but at least it'll give them a like a minimum start to like, yeah, I got to do this part, and just kind of be mindful of that when you get the schedule going. I guess that's it.
Lakenya, no, that was so good and so solid. The crazy, as I'm listening to you, I'm like, you just started in December? That's when you got your first check,
We
right?
started. I got my first writing in December. I just want to add one more thing. About discipline. So my husband tell me discipline. So you have to be disciplined and consistent in it, and then also listening to audio, like learning the business, because like Karyn said, nobody came out here to help us. How I did it, because I was the first one who joined before my husband, is I watched videos on YouTube on how to do it. And so my first couple weeks, I didn't get no sales, but I was like still learning. I knew that insurance working, this is where I need to be at. So I kept learning and watching the videos, and I just go into the house and repeat what I done seen on the videos. And then also me and my husband in the evening time, We do like training, make sure on the daily training, we go to all the trainings throughout the day. Then in the evening time, we train ourselves by we like we'll look at underwriting books, guides or whatever, and watch other videos to kind of like learn more about the business. But I would, if you guys can do that, I would make sure that you're not doing those type of activities like learning, doing your work activities, because that's easy. When you simple, it's so easy to do that. You like, oh, I gotta make phone calls, but I really gotta watch this video on how to set up my back office or something. You don't need to be
Right.
doing it. It's time for you to go to work.
Right.
So
That's good stuff. So you said, so I want to make sure that everybody understood what you, and we're clear on what you just said. So anytime you're trying to learn about products, what to do, videos, you're doing that not when it's time to make phone calls. Is that what you're telling me?
yep, and I don't do it when it's time for me to be on appointments, except when I'm in the car. I have the audio playing, and then also I have, this is so weird. I don't know if you guys do this, but I have this little box thing that I can put in the shower, and I can like take my shower, and it's like a speaker, and I can listen to it while I take a shower. So
Okay.
you got to fit it
That's
in
good
between.
stuff, Lakenya. I mean, no, all of those things like that you just mentioned and went through are really like the key, those small little keys to success. And those are the things that most people don't want to do. You know what I mean? I mean, like listening, instead of listening to music, you're listening to, you sound like you're listening to podcasts or YouTube videos. You're listening, you're using the tools and the resources that you have available to you so that you can get better. And like I said, it's amazing to me to hear that you only just got your first check in December and you really only been here for like 2 months. Like that's crazy.
And I
But
haven't. We've been making
and you're
like right at
far.
like we've been making like right at like just by myself like right at 10 deposit in our account. So like Karyn was serious. Like when you just kind of like learning, you can trip over 10,000. That's what we've been doing.
Trip over 10,000 income, absolutely. And I'm sure with having 8 kids, 5 at home, 10,000 in your bank account is a whole lot different than whatever you were making at your job, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
And you get to, I'm sure you, I mean, you know, you get to spend more time. That's the crazy part is you're making more money, but you also get more time to be able to spend with your children at this point. Am I right?
Yeah. And we really try to get back to the community. We about to start like randomly on Wednesdays. I give money away to people. And then also me and my husband, we're gonna start doing I'm gonna be holding a free counseling clinic 1 day a week so people can
Mm,
come with free therapy. Just
mhm.
so we can just give back and do more stuff. We want to create like a homeless shelter and stuff like that. The only way we do that is if we make money and
Come
help other
on, say it
people.
again. Wait a minute, say that
Yeah.
because people be saying it ain't about the money, but the more money you make, the more
The
people you can
more you
help.
can help, yeah, like literally I love to just go randomly throw people money, like pay for their stuff and stuff. And like I had this lady, she started crying, they couldn't afford to pay their bill, but I got a little extra money, so I was able to give her money. So she was at the
Mm,
putting her stuff back, and I said, don't put nothing back, I'm paying for your whole thing. I said, keep your money, I'm paying for all of it. And I did that.
dang.
I couldn't do that from like not working. I do this from this, and this is why I do it. It has to be more than just like your vision has to be more than just money. Because once you reach that certain money amount, then like what else there to do except to get some more money? But it has to be like bigger than that. Like it has to be impactful, inspiring other people. Like how me and my husband want to do like homeless shelters and stuff like that. Because that'll keep us going to go on for something bigger, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you have a goal that's bigger than you, and it's not focused
Yep.
on you, it's focused on what you can do for other people.
Yep.
So absolutely, Lakenya, we definitely got to get you back on a call again because those, like everything you said is so solid. And it sounds like you've been around for a while, but you're really just getting here, and it just goes to show it doesn't take long to go from 0 to 10,000 in your bank account to being able to be a leader and helping other people. So thank you so much for everything that she went through this morning. That was so good, Lakenya. But with that being said, so guys, if you were, I hope you were taking notes about what Lakenya just said, because she has such solid advice in her, what she just went over. But we got the guest speaker of all guest speakers. And I'm so blessed that she agreed to get on this call this morning. It's kind of a last minute thing. But right now, this moment, she is number 10 in the company as far as issue paid volume for the year so far. And so far, I want to make sure I have her number exactly right. She has already issued paid 106,000 in premium, and it's just February. And she's number 10 in the entire freaking company, and she's a part of FFL National, so she's a part of our bigger team. Kristen Solis, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Hey, hey.
Hey, Kristen.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So Kristen is running appointments. She's in her car. You see, don't look at us, Kristen. Look at the road.
I can multitask.
But Kristen is, like I said, and I've had the pleasure of knowing Kristen and getting to know Kristen. We actually, the convention in 2019 or 2020? No, 2019 convention. She said she was gonna be in the Hall of Fame at the convention this year, and she got her Hall of Fame jacket, her red jacket, because she did over $400,000 in issue paid volume. Kristen, generally in one day, she has no problem writing 10,000. Like that's like her normal thing, and most people, it takes people a week to write 10,000. But what I wanted to go over, Kristen, today, because I think people look at you you're a freak of nature, like.
I'm not, girl. I'm driving like everybody else.
I know you're driving. You gotta look around. Yeah, but people look at you like that. But I want you to kind of talk about this. Has been an evolution for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's still an evolution.
You're not new to Family First Life. Like we talked last night, you've been here pretty much since Family First Life started, right?
Yeah. So like in 2014, I came on board, but I really didn't take it seriously. I feel like, when you hear numbers and you see numbers and you see people making crazy things, like kind of what I'm doing now, you think, man, that's not real. Like, you kind of second guess yourself all the time. There are still times, remember, Kali, I was like calling you when I was going through the thing with my house. I was like, somebody pinched me, right? Like, is this real? Like, how do we make this kind of money? And then still doubt like that, it could stop, and it doesn't. And it only stops if you don't work, right? And as much as you put the work in and learn to keep getting better and better and better at your trade, then, you're going to keep growing. That's just how that works. So I still have tons to learn, really, and tweak. And so practicing what I preach and kind of like really just tightening up my schedule, all the things that you hear, I still have to get better at. It just is the way that it is. And so, I'm blessed that I'm a very high closer, and I have a method to my system and the way that I do things in the in-home and things like that. But I still have a lot to learn, and this is not an overnight thing. You're going to fail, and without failure, you can't feel success, right? So it's just like anything else. You have to actually understand what it's like to grind and learn and have failures to be able to know what it feels like to succeed, and consistently as you're climbing that ladder and keep getting that success and getting tastes of that, and you're like, whoa, and then figuring it out, and then keep tweaking and implementing that and getting better and better. It becomes more and more addicting. And so then you keep climbing to the top and getting better and better and better. And so, this is not going to be an easy road. It never is. Yesterday, I had a shit for a day. Sorry, but I called Kali and I was like, listen, this is real. It happens to even me. So it happens, like we all have to learn, and we all continue to grow and support each other, but utilize the support system and the advice given, and don't be afraid to take the risk. If you don't have faith in yourself and your work ethic, then that falls on you and you only, right? Like nobody can make you work. Nobody can make you be plugged in, like KG said. Nobody can make you grind and want to listen and not make excuses. Nobody can help you with that but you, right? You got to make up your mind of what you want to accomplish and where you want to be in life. And the great thing is, in this company, you can do it. You can have whatever success means to you. You can have that literally at the touch of your fingers if you want to put the work in and if you want it. So everybody has a very different definition of what success is. My definition of success back, 4 years ago when I made $120,000 working very part-time, I thought I was living good, right? And then to get a taste of that, go to conference and then make $356,000 the following year, and then over 450 this year, and then this year I'm projected probably to do close to $1 million. Like you can do all of those things if you continue to grow and get better. And allow yourself the accountability to, it's okay if people call you and be like, dude, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. Like Frank and I had a conversation the other day, and it's just consistently having your mentors, like it's okay for them to kick you in the butt a little bit to get you to that next level. So, being able to take that advice, not as a criticism really, but really as just a way to help you, push you to get to that next spot. So, when I first started, I was a hairdresser. I had no sales experience at all. Like never even was in the insurance industry. My husband and I were literally living paycheck to paycheck. We had to do a loan modification twice, just because he had lost his job a couple times. There's a couple different things. And so I was tired of living like that. Who wants to live like that? Nobody. Right. So taking the leap of faith and, continuing to, and, when I first got in, I had tons. I will never forget when I really started in the very, very beginning, my very first application that I ever sold. I was so excited. Came home. I called Jamie. I was so freaking pumped. And then the next day canceled on me. It happens, but it's real. Like, who cares? You got to have so many appointments with so many sales that doesn't matter, right? You got to invest your time, your energy, how much, lead you have. You cannot be afraid to take the lead. What you put in is what you're going to get out. I spend about anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 a week on leads. I drive. I was the other day, I think I did over $11,000 that day. I wrote, 4 annuities that week, but I literally left at 5 a.m. and then I got home at 12:15 a.m. driving 3.5 hours to get to my first appointment and then ending. So you have to put the work in. If the money doesn't come if you don't grind, and grinding means in all aspects. You got to drive, you got to go wherever the leads are. And it just is what it is. But then, like KG said, you can rest later and have happiness later. You know what I mean? But you got to grind and continue to learn and be in the now. So that's what I got. Kali, you got anything else to do? What you got?
No, it's so good. So you start out a hairdresser, you made 100,000 the first year. What you said, 120?
120. Yeah, it was really part-time. Yeah.
And then I know, so January you wrote over 100,000, right? That you submitted in January. Personally, not team.
Yeah. No, not a team. And
your team is you and your dad. And I want
to no life.
I want to kind of just, because people, much is given, much is required, right? So you're putting up those kind of numbers. You're also getting some crazy chargebacks at some point, I'm sure. Right.
I had like, for sure. I had like $18,000 in chargebacks at one point, but it wasn't a big deal.
Right. Because you just keep going. Like you don't stop there because you have chargebacks. You just keep writing so you can get yourself out of the chargebacks. Is that right?
Well, the point of it is that you should have so much business and be writing so much business that you don't care about the chargebacks. You don't even feel the sting.
I work for Family First Life.
Wait a minute.
What I'll do is I'll send you a copy of my digital business card.
That's okay. I hear that. That's talking to somebody. But the point is that you should be running so much business, writing so much business that it doesn't matter. Seriously, like it really doesn't matter when you have those chargebacks at all, because you're writing so much business that they don't sting, right? Like it's like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? And by the way, I don't have hardly as many chargebacks now because I go and conserve the business. So if people call me and say, hey, I'm going to cancel, I go back out. And then Leslie came with me that one day and she watched me save it. Most people initially, when you write a premium, they forget that I say in the house every single time, like, listen, when you get your policy, call me, and I go back and go over the policies with them. So then if they need to change it, and if their, objective changes or whatever, we need to make adjustments, we can do that. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. They have a free look period. You can change anything within a free look period. Most people just think, oh crap, I got this one and then I can't do it, so I got to cancel. Well, no, that's not the point. I'm not helping you if that's going to be the case. So we're not going to do that. We're going to go back over and revisit this. What changed from the last time we spoke? Well, nothing, because you still don't have anything to protect your family. So now let's make sure that whatever we have in place is actually going to do that, and it's going to benefit you on your day-to-day living too, because I'm not helping you if you're going to eventually cancel. That totally defeats the purpose. So that's not what we do here. So you got to go back out, and it takes more time, right? It takes more time when people get policies to go back out and go over them. But you got to take the time. What makes you different than every other agent out there? You got tons of life insurance agents. You got tons of people that put people at bad products. Ask yourself, what makes you different than somebody else that's going to come back in and try to overwrite you from a different IMO? What makes you different? And what would make them not want to not be with you and go with someone else? And price isn't an answer, because we are contracted with everyone. So we have all the different, and the best products that there is to offer. So if you really educate them and really build rapport, right? I have a little bit of a disagreement, and everybody's different strategies, but no, I don't act like this is just like a sale for like what somebody does when they come in with like BT&E or Comcast. No. That's not how I roll. Like, I am here as someone that you can depend on in the event that your worst nightmare happens and you have a crisis that happens, that I am going to be the one that's going to sit with your loved one while they're mourning over you. That is a big deal. Like, you have to make sure that that I got your back and I'm going to help you get that money, and to make sure that happens effectively, right? Like, that's what we do. This is real. You are protecting them from losing their loved one and every single thing that they work hard for. This is not like another thing where you're just checking boxes on Comcast and what you can set them up with. That is not what we do here. We are different than everybody else. We are families first. We put the families first, right? We check that box. That's what it is. And I look at them and I say, do you have enough faith in me that I am going to be there to have your back in the event that anything happens? Do you understand that it's going to be me that's going to sit with your family, and I'm going to make sure that you're protected? You are not going to be worrying about this when your loved one is in critical care in a hospital. I am going to be the one that's going to help that paperwork get filled out so your family gets a check efficiently, so you have that peace of mind. That's what we're doing here today, right? Because that is what we're doing. The families come first. It's not the money. That's all great, but we put the families first. That's why the name is what it is. That's it.
That's good stuff. All right, we got about 5 more minutes. Does anybody have any questions for Kristen?
Yes, I have one question for Kristen.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Kristen. You said that you started on a part-time basis and you did dynamic numbers. What does that part-time basis look like? What does those hours look like? What kind of time did you put in?
I'm a very bad person for this question. Kali. Yeah. So I wouldn't recommend doing it part-time. Let's just say that. All right. I think that I was lucky in the event that I have a talent with building rapport, and I have a very high close ratio from the beginning. But as you probably can tell, even just with this phone call, I am extremely passionate in what I do and about helping the families that I help. This literally, the money is amazing, but it's not about that for me. Like, I genuinely enjoy helping people better themselves. I feel like I'm doing something for the greater good. So for me, I worked very part-time, meaning I probably ran 8 appointments in a month, and I was able to do about 120,000 that year.
Yeah, we don't recommend
I do
that.
not recommend that. I don't recommend it.
Karyn,
Yeah, I don't recommend that
Kristen, what's the
at all.
recommendation for somebody who wants to start part-time? You know that number? You have that number?
So, I mean, if you're going to do it part-time, like, it's not a bad idea, obviously, like, to get your feet wet, right? Like, I I think that I get it, you know what I mean? But if you're going to do it though, okay, my dad, so he's on my team. Everything that I've learned is really from my dad. Like I'm literally a clone copy. And so for my dad, right, he sells kitchens for a living. And so he wants to retire in a year. He's been doing this for his first year last year, he made 86,000 and he worked part-time. He worked every single Sunday. But you got to fill your day. So if you're going to do part-time, make sure that you're setting yourself up for success. Please make sure you have 8 to 10 appointments that day. Double book somebody if you can feel if they're like a little hesitant or, being a little wishy-washy. Really set yourself up for success, because you're not going to do it if you're only going to go out and run a couple appointments here or there. And then again, it's also to avoid that sting of when you do have chargebacks. Listen, chargebacks are normal. It happens to everyone. There's always, I don't care, any sales, regardless of insurance or anything else, you're always going to have a percentage that falls off. But protect yourself from that. You're not going to feel the sting. So to avoid all of that, make sure that you're really, 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 focusing on making sure that you have enough appointments, because in the beginning, you're going to not have, as high close ratio. You're also going to have no shows. You're going to have people reschedule because, you're still working through things on the phones. So as you get better of all of those things, that will lessen. And that's how you're going to consistently see your numbers climb, because you're going to be sitting with more people, closing more people, and tweaking all of those things. And that takes time, but set yourself up for that success if you're going to just do it like a day. You know what I mean? And it's the same advice for people who are doing it full time. Just implement the same things, but full time. You know what I mean? Because you're going to consistently get better and better. I mean, look at Mike Combs. I mean, I'm so proud of that guy. He's doing great. I get so excited when I see his numbers. I'm like, way to go. Because he's like figuring things out, and he's going to consistently get better and better and better. You know what I mean? Look at Jamar Gallen. Like, I mean, awesome. Like, I love following people. I'm like, they're doing awesome. And you can see they're putting in the time and the work to keep tweaking and getting better. You know what I mean?
Good stuff, Kristen. Okay, we got time for probably one more question. Anyone?
Anybody?
We got the number 10 producer in the company on the phone. We don't have one more question? All right, well, Kristen, I'll ask you. So, I want to know, what the hell did you make so far this year? That's what, look, nobody wants to ask, I'll ask it.
Well, I mean, listen, I just started getting into the annuities. I've already written 4, and I have 2 more band fams that I'm writing this week, actually. So on Friday, I'm writing another $680,000 annuity, and then another one on Thursday is like 110. So it's going to be like, ooh, it's going to be, so I'm already over $1 million and some, in annuity volume. So with implementing that and also doing the annuities that I've already written that I'll be getting paid on, ooh, you're going to see my issue paid numbers come March. They're going to be skyrocket high. I mean, I did, like I said, I already did 109,000. So I might even be able to grab number 1. I might. It would be cool if that could happen. So yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to have a female up there as number 1 in the entire company. Hey, like, I think it'd be cool.
So I don't think you answered my question. So how much did you make about this year so far?
I made $100,000
in your bank account, you think?
Oh, so last month it was about, because we get paid 75% advancement, right? So take into account, like, this is also taking into account, like, just like you, I mean, I'll have chargebacks here or there, whatever. So with having about 75% advancement, plus whatever my comp is, and then chargebacks, I had 87,000 deposited last month. And then I had, so far this month, about 92,000 this month. and that doesn't include, and then that doesn't include
shoot, Kristen broke up. That doesn't include
as
what?
far as like annuity. Yeah.
You broke up. You went the last thing you said.
That doesn't include like my annuity volume. I said, so with this month, with my annuity volume, I'll probably get close to like 200,000 deposited probably this month.
Yeah.
Come March.
Well, listen, we're gonna drop the mic. We ran out of time, unfortunately. Thank you so much, Kristen. But like, that is an insane.
Yeah, sure, of course, anytime.
Amount of money in a year, and you already made the 100,000 in 2 months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talking about making even more this month and month of March coming up. the best freaking business opportunity out there that is available. And you can do it part-time, full-time. You can do it by yourself. You can build a team. Whatever works for you and your family is what you can
Kali,
do.
if you don't mind me, let me just make one advice to people.
Yes.
Anyone that is having success right now, even when you have that little bit of taste of success, right? So I'm going to use Jamar and like Mike again, and like Brandee, and this. When you see those people, like when you're getting, like you're closing more, reinvest in the business, right? Buy more leads and start taking more leap of faith that way, like worth reinvesting. In the beginning, that was something that I did that was critical. That as I was becoming more successful, I was, buying more leads and running more. You have to do that in order to be able to keep climbing, to keep getting more numbers. You're not going to be able to do that with just work. It's like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. You got to keep reinvesting in the business to continue to grow.
That's good stuff. Okay. I appreciate that, Kristen. That's probably the best advice that everyone needs to hear. Reinvest in your business to continue to keep your business going. Because that is a mistake a lot of people make. They start making the money and they start, I can buy this, but they never buy more leads or buy, whatever they need to do. Like I've just recently got an admin, you know what I'm saying? And that's an extra whatever I got to pay the admin every month. And then I'm gonna get a recruiter and I'm buying recruiting leads. So as opposed to just spending the money on me, reinvesting in the business so the money can grow and multiply. Right.
Yes.
So thank you.
Yep, definitely.
So
and it's not easy to take that leap of faith, but it works.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you're proof of it. We're all proof of it. So thank you so much, Kristen, for taking out the time and getting on this call. I know your time is very, very valuable. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow, girl.
So listen, anybody that's on this call on Wednesday, I'm going to be up at the office. I'm treating anyone who's going to come up to the office to dial to lunch. And I'll also be there to host like a mini training session, probably around like 1 to 3 o'clock. So I'm going to be up there and I'm going to go over like my in-home, like phone script, things like that. So if anybody wants to come up, they're more than welcome.
Wednesday at the Bel Air office.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. I'll post that in our group, me too. Thank you for the invitation, Kristen.
Yep. Anytime,
right,
1 to 3 o'clock. Bye.
All right, perfect. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you.